Hello and welcome to the channel, where we share the myths, legends and histories of the Chinese people, from the first creator to the last imperial dynasty. More than 6,000 years of stories, one video at a time. My name is Apingo and I am the chain-smoking writer. In the last episode, where we talked about Yeol the Red Emperor, we covered the fact that he set up a very early system of astrological observation posts. And he sent out people to man these posts and to observe astrological phenomena and to calculate the passage of time. Now in this episode, we are going to delve into more details about this endeavor and the results of it, which unsurprisingly still has an impact in today's world. Now, in Huangdi's time, Xi-He was the royal astronomer in charge of observing the sun and the various natural phenomena. And although there was some very rudimentary understanding of the passage of time and the changes of the seasons, there were no way to know the precise days when the seasons or weather patterns would change. It was not until Yao's reign that the Red Emperor appointed the descendants of Xi-He, now known as the Xi-He clan, four of them, Xi-Zong, Xi-Shu, He-Zong and He-Shu, as astronomers to study the astrological movements so as to come up with a standard calendar, a standard lunisolar calendar. Now, if you do not know what a lunisolar calendar is, well, basically we have the solar calendars that plot time according to the movement of the sun, and then we have the lunar calendar that plots time according to the movement of the moon. Now, a lunisolar calendar is a combination of both of these celestial bodies to track the passage of time and seasons. So this was an important in human civilization, human history and development, as this endeavor, the accomplishment of coming up with this calendar would enable people, ancient peoples, to know the best times for seed sowing and to know the perfect time for harvest season, and it will also help the farmers at that time in predicting these upcoming changes in weather patterns to better prepare for the impact of their crops. And if you ever played the game Civilizations, you would know that the calendar is one of the root technologies that you have to unlock, and it would unlock an entire chain of of the tech tree that would have impact throughout the various advancements of your civilization that you're playing. So yeah, the calendar, although we take it for granted today, it is pretty important. It was a very important discovery. So these four clan siblings, they went off to the four cardinal edges of the realm, and Xi-Zong was to set up an observatory on the eastern shores of the land to observe the rising of the sun, and he was to find a day where day and night are of equal length and to set it as the spring equinox. And to accomplish this, to do this, he was to use the position of the star Alpha Hydrae in the sky to correct any deviations in his calculations. Now, Xi-Shu was sent to the south of the realm to observe the movement of the sun from the north to the south throughout the year. As you know, the Earth does not, revolve in a straight 90-degree angle. It is a tilted revolution. So the sun, if you observe it throughout the year, it will move from the north to the south, deviating by a little bit throughout the entire year. And he was to find the day where daylight was the longest and set it as the summer solstice. And he needed to use the position of the planet Mars in the sky to correct any deviations in these calculations. Now, He Zhong was sent to the west to observe the setting sun, and he was to find a day of equal length between day and night, the second day of equal length, and he was to set it as the autumn equinox. And he would use the position of the star Beta Aquarii for corrections in the calculations. And He Shu was sent to the north to observe the movement of the sun from the south back to the north throughout the year. And he was to find the shortest day in the year and set it as the winter solstice. And he would use the position of the Pleiades constellations in the sky to correct for deviations in calculations. Now, after years of observations and countless calculations, the four clan siblings, or the four brothers, concluded through their calculations that a year was made up of 366 days, and they used a leap month every few years to correct the deviating equinoxes and solstices. And this was the first and most accurate calendar of the time, created through scientific observations of the celestial movements. Now, the creation of this lunisolar calendar, together with the concept of leap months to correct for deviations, enabled society to calculate time accurately for the very first time. And it provided an accurate guide for farmers and the people to plan their year around, to schedule their sowing and harvest seasons. And with little to almost zero errors, that was how accurate it was. And thereby it greatly improved the productivity of society and the quality of life for the entire civilization. Now, apart from the solstices and equinoxes and the four seasons, these early astronomers actually divided the entire year into 24 solar terms that advised the people on everything from weather changes to planting and sowing and stuff like that. And these 24 solar terms is actually still in use today in East Asian countries like Japan and Korea and certain parts of China. Although, of course, today we don't really need these solar terms now, seeing that we have moved on from being a mainly agricultural society to more advanced technological world. But yeah, it's still in use, and some of these solar terms are actually festivals in certain parts of the world. So yeah, something interesting. As I mentioned in the last episode in the trivial section, that this lunisolar calendar was in use almost totally unchanged until today. Now, it was used totally unchanged all the way until the Han Dynasty during the time of Han Wudi, or Emperor Wu of the Han Dynasty, where he ordered recalculation to optimize and create a more accurate calendar for use. And this only happened in 104 BC. Now, mind you, this lunisolar calendar is supposed to have been created around 2300 to 1900 BC. So it practically went unchanged, tracking time relatively accurately for almost 2000 years or around 2000 years. So that goes to show the level of precision and the level of accuracy that these early peoples have mastered, and the scientific way that they implemented their ideas and to work out and understand nature. From the way that these early astronomers created the lunisolar calendar, we can deduce or presume that at the very least they had access to some scientific tools to aid them in their calculations. At the very least, we know for a fact that they used a version of an elongated sundial with one or two gnomons to show them the azimuth or the direction and the altitude or the height of the celestial bodies that they were observing, and thereby eliminating errors that could have been caused by refractions, light refractions, when observing them rising on the horizon. Because when the celestial bodies starts peeking out from the horizon, the light rays that come out from these bodies might be altered by light refractions of the land or the sea. So to have very accurate calculations or to achieve the level of accuracy in their observations, they must have these scientific tools to aid them in this endeavor. Now, this is an astonishing feat. I mean, considering the time frame that we are talking about, around 2300 to 1900 BC. It was an era just before the advent of first-hand recorded history in China. What we know about this period was second-hand records from later eras and later historians. The use of this elongated or modified sundial actually predates the first recorded use of an actual sundial to tell time, which happened in Egypt about 700 years later. So yeah, that was quite a feat and quite an accomplishment if you ask me. Yep, today's video is shorter relative to the other videos I usually put out, and it wasn't really much of a story per se. However, I felt that it was important and interesting to go a bit deeper into the details of the creation of the first calendar used in China, and in fact the calendar that is still in use today, with minor changes of course. It is a testament to the ingenuity and the innovative spirit of the early Chinese people, that they were able to accomplish this, in a time where they are supposed to be little better than cavemen. So yeah, I thought that it might be interesting to you guys. So let me know what you think. Now, if you enjoyed this story and this video, remember, help the channel out by smashing the like button, and subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon if you want to be updated on new videos, and if you would like to join us on this journey through time. If you would like to connect with me on other social media platforms, or if you would like to support the channel on Patreon, all the links are available in the description box below. And if you have any thoughts or any feedback, please leave your comment in the comment section below. We sometimes have pretty interesting banter going on down there. Just have to look. And I do personally go through all your comments and try to reply to all of them. Yeah. And I guess I'll see you in the next episode then. See ya.